Hey guys, how's it going? Hermes got caught slipping again. Let's get into it. Hermes just took a blow straight to its brand core, and this one's not getting brushed under a silk scarf. In a matter of days, the luxury icon went from global powerhouse to ground zero for one of the most high-stakes legal dramas in fashion history. And the twist? It wasn't a journalist, influencer, or angry customer who started this war. It was the very Chinese manufacturers Hermes allegedly leaned on in secret for years.
It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. Put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
You can continue to expose all of these retailers. Nobody's going to care.
I am about to crash.
Y'all would never catch me in nothing fake. No fake earrings, no fake bracelets, no fake shoes, nothing fake designer. It's gonna be a no for me.
Out.
These weren't random factories. These were the silent hands crafting the goods behind Hermès French fantasy. But now those hands are pointing fingers and they're not holding back. According to the leaks, Hermes built a house of luxury on a foundation of smoke and lies. Bags allegedly stitched overseas, labels allegedly scrubbed clean, contracts allegedly locked in silence. But silence doesn't last forever. And when those whispers turned into a roar, American consumers who paid top dollar to feel exclusive finally connected the dots. They weren't buying heritage. They were allegedly buying into a trap, and now they're suing. This isn't just another lawsuit. This is a public unmasking. And if even half of what's been alleged sticks, Hermes might be looking at the biggest brand collapse luxury has ever seen.
Got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
De l'entrée, on me donne des morceaux de cuir jusqu'au moment où je vais avoir livré ma pièce. Je veux pas qu'on reproduise un geste de façon indéfinie en se disant bon bah je fais toujours ce même geste et je pense qu'on est vraiment là pour apprendre un métier et pas des tâches.
Started in whispers, anonymous claims, low-res videos quietly circulated, PDFs of factory invoices. Then came the leaks. Chinese manufacturers, previously contractually muzzled under NDAs, allegedly broke ranks and exposed the system from the inside. Their claims were brutal and allegedly directed them to produce large portions of handbags and accessories offshore, but to never label them as such. Made in China was a dirty phrase, a forbidden truth.
It requires a lot of skill to turn it and get it on the right way.
Il y a des bouchées, des bacs plus 4, 5, 6, on en a. Hein.
Does anybody have the Louis Vuitton from China?
Factory workers were reportedly instructed to leave tags blank, avoid shipping documentation that linked products to non-European origins, and funnel goods through multiple third parties to preserve the illusion of French exclusivity. His intent? To charge luxury prices on mass-produced goods while keeping customers in the dark.
A lot of these luxury brands own their own manufacturing and source product from farms that they own. Hermes owns its own tanneries and crocodile and alligator farms, has workshops in France, and most bags are made by a single artisan. So go ahead and buy your DH Gate bag, whatever bag, and see how it holds up over the years. Trust me, Hermes is not concerned.
None of the brands these creators mention, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, especially Hermes, need to go to China for production. And here is why. Labels like Made in France and Made in Italy comes with strict restrictions. And brands at that level don't risk compromising that. It's just not worth it.
But when Hermes allegedly responded to rising questions by threatening legal retaliation, trying to tighten the leash even more, those factories went rogue. And loud. Suddenly, social platforms lit up with anonymous insider posts, screenshots of internal supplier emails, and whispers that the world's most exclusive bag might not be so exclusive after all.
My point is, I think it's crazy how designer brands have been selling things for thousands when China sell them on and literally they're so cheap. If the Chinese manufacturers are making the same, like the actual Birkins, and then they are also selling these on the side as well, technically this is an absolute fucking bargain because it's the exact same material as a Birkin.
And a Louis Vuitton that they got at the designer store, because I need to see a side by side. I have to know if there's any discrepancies or any differences, or is it the exact same thing? Because I'm starting to feel ripped the fuck off right now. I got a closet full of this shit that I paid thousands for, and you're telling me it's all been made in China and I could have just gone straight to China and gotten this shit? It just can't be the same. It cannot be the same. And if it is, damn, we all got played. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us. Seriously, please don't tell me I got played. I refuse to believe that there's no difference.
And that's when American consumers snapped. They'd spent years playing by Hermes rules, buying keychains, blankets, entire wardrobes just to be offered a Birkin. And now they realized they might have been played. Filed in California, the lawsuit reads like a script from a luxury horror movie. The plaintiffs allege that Hermes violated antitrust law by engaging in tying, a business tactic that's not just unethical, it's illegal. Under this alleged scheme, customers couldn't walk in and buy a Birkin, they had to earn it. How? By spending thousands, sometimes tens of thousands on other Hermes products, scarves, belts, shoes, watches, none of which they wanted, all of which allegedly served as a buy-in fee for a chance to even be considered for a Birkin. But it didn't stop there. The lawsuit claims Hermes trained sales associates to track customer purchase histories, prioritize high spenders, and offer Birkins only when a buyer had sufficiently proven their loyalty to the brand. In short, it wasn't a bat, it was a reward for obedience. And now that the Chinese factory leaks have pulled the curtain back on where those bags might have actually been made, the lawsuit's allegations hit even harder. Because now it's not just coercion, it's coercion based on a lie about where the bag came from, a lie about how rare it really is, and a lie about what buyers were actually paying for. Hermes didn't just manufacture luxury, it allegedly manufactured scarcity. And now that strategy is being dragged into court. So what made this lawsuit blow up now? Why not last year or the year before when people were already grumbling about gatekeeping? Because this time the proof came from the inside. The very hands that helped build Hermes's image just turned around and ripped the veil off. And once customers saw the receipts, everything else collapsed. It wasn't just whispers anymore. It was leaked documents, anonymized statements from actual manufacturers, and emails that allegedly showed Hermes instructing factories to bury the truth. No made in China tags, no factory visibility, just clean, crisp illusion shipped straight to Paris and resold as pristine European craft. Once that came out, the whole ecosystem cracked. The narrative Hermes spent decades constructing, that Birkins are handmade by elite French artisans, that supply is limited, that each piece is sacred, vanished in one viral wave. People didn't just feel lied to, they felt played. And when they look back at the hoops they jumped through, the 5-figure starter purchases, the months of being ignored in store, the assistant managers promising maybe next season, they realized it wasn't scarcity, it was sales strategy dressed up in prestige. Hermes wasn't choosing special customers. They were allegedly bleeding them dry to qualify for bags that may not have even come from France. The leak didn't just reveal a manufacturing scandal, it connected the dots between shady production and exploitative selling. And that's what made people sue. They didn't just feel scammed, they had the smoking gun. And for once, Hermes wasn't in control of the story. Predictably, Hermes is acting like it's business as usual. Their official stance, the lawsuit is meritless. There's no forced buying, no manipulation, just client interest, limited stock, and that old favorite, brand integrity. Translation, they still get to pick who's worthy, and if you don't like that, tough. Their legal team's argument is almost laughable. They say it's not tying because customers aren't forced to buy anything. They just happen to be offered a Birkin if they're loyal enough. But anyone who's ever stepped into a Hermes store knows exactly what that means. No loyalty purchases, no bag, period. Even worse, they're trying to spin the factory exposure as irrelevant. Internally, they're doubling down on the myth that the leaks are exaggerated or out of context. But the damage is already done. Because here's the catch. This lawsuit might have fizzled out if not for those factory receipts. Once the public saw that Hermes may have been disguising outsourced goods as artisan exclusives, the tone shifted. This wasn't about inventory anymore. It was about deception. In Hermes denial, it's ringing hollow. People don't want marketing buzzwords. They want honesty. And instead of transparency, Hermes is filing dismissals, staying quiet, and hoping it all goes away. What's happening right now isn't just a lawsuit. It's a domino toppling the entire luxury framework. Because if Hermes, the poster child of selective, silent, slow luxury, is allegedly faking the French dream, who else is doing it too? This wasn't just about a brand, it was about a belief that if you saved, waited, and dressed the part, you could join a club only a few got into. A Birkin wasn't a bag, it was proof you were seen. Now, that club is looking more like a cash grab. The secondary market's already wobbling. Resellers are nervous. Buyers are backing off. And Reddit? A war zone! Once devoted Hermes fans are posting spreadsheets, time-stamped receipts, DM screenshots from sales reps who hinted at soft spending targets. The entire luxury community is dissecting the scam in real time. One user summed it up perfectly. I thought I was buying legacy. Turns out I was just meeting a quota. Even fashion outlets that normally fawn over Hermes are flipping. Vogue Business, BoF, and independent fashion watchdogs are calling this a crisis of trust. And TikTok, ruthless. Influencers who once flexed Birkins are now dragging them, calling out Hermes for elitist manipulation, repackaged fraud, and toxic customer treatment. This isn't a bump in the road, it's a brand identity in free fall. And if Hermes doesn't shift fast, they're not just losing customers. They're losing the illusion that made them untouchable. This lawsuit isn't just a slap on the wrist, it's a loaded weapon, and the trigger's been pulled. If even a fraction of the allegations hold up in court, Hermes won't just be facing fines, they'll be facing a reckoning. The case could force the brand to publicly reveal what they've fought to keep secret for decades, where their products are really made. That means factory contracts, supplier chains, import logs, the kind of receipts that tear apart a curated brand myth in seconds. And once that information is out, the ripple effect will be global. Legal experts are already predicting a wave of copycat lawsuits. If US customers were allegedly misled, what about the EU, the Middle East, Asia? Consumers who spent fortunes thinking they were buying exclusivity might suddenly realize they were just buying into a sales funnel. And then there's the resale markets, a billion-dollar ecosystem built almost entirely on the illusion of scarcity. If it turns out Birkins were being churned out in overseas factories all along, the resale bubble could pop overnight. Collectors will bail, prices will dive, and luxury investors who treat bags like assets might pull out completely. We're not talking about one scandal, we're talking about a collapse in the belief system luxury depends on. Because here's the brutal truth. Hermes didn't just sell bags, they sold trust. And that trust, it's on life support. Insiders say Hermes is already bracing for potential discovery requests. If internal documents surface, emails, memos, training manuals that show deliberate deception, it won't just be brand damage, it'll be reputation death. That's why the rest of the industry is watching like hawks. LVMH, Chanel, Dior, Gucci, every major luxury house is quietly reevaluating their own operations, knowing that if Hermes gets dragged, they're next. One luxury analyst put it bluntly, Hermes was the gold standard. If they're dirty, we're all exposed. So this isn't just about Hermes anymore. It's about an entire industry holding its breath and wondering who gets taken down next.